So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are finally getting around to it. I've seen many comments, I've seen many requests to get back into the rebuild challenge, and today we are finally back with our first fantasy draft rebuild. Now this one is not going to be anything special. We are going to ease back into them. This is obviously a very common one. It is just going to be a normal fantasy draft rebuild. I guess to make it a little bit more challenging, we will let the CPU draft this entire squad. But of course, the only real end goal of this video is to win a championship by year 3. I'm also very much aware I have not completed all the regular rebuilds, if you will. I believe we have about 5 or 6 of those left to go. They'll probably be done by the end of next week, but I know a lot of people were itching for something a little bit different. Of course, I am a man of the people. So let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section, whether there are any normal rebuilds, the series that I do every single year, rebuild challenges, whatever they may be. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know all that down below. So excited for this one today. Of course, going to randomly select a team, sim through the entire draft, and build one hell of a team. Let's get into it. Before we go ahead and sim this fantasy draft, we obviously have to go ahead and select our team. And just so none of you guys think I am cheating or anything fun like that, we will go ahead, close the eyeballs. We will randomly scroll through this, select a team, and we'll stop in 3, 2, and 1. We end up with the Brooklyn Nets. They will be my team. We will sim the entirety of this draft. See you guys with the full squad. How about you and me together go ahead and take a look at this team that the CPU has obviously drafted for us. Okay, does not appear like we had a super high pick, but I actually really like the duo of Tyrese Maxey and Bam Adebayo. Of course, have some really nice kind of complementary options with Kyle Kuzma, Zach LaVine, Buddy Hield. So, you know, there's something here I can work with. I can definitely do something with this here. So starting out at the point guard spot, obviously we all know how incredible Tyrese Maxey has been in his young career, already pushing a 90 overall at 23 years old. He is the best player on this team, according to 2K, and he is going to be the guy that is hopefully going to lead us to that title. Dennis Schroeder is certainly not a bad backup point guard option. As an expiring contract, we'll keep an eye on that, but 31 years old, 78 overall, I definitely don't hate it. Gabe Vincent, I'll just be straight up honest with you, probably going to be a trade piece at some point. Doubt he really gets any significant minutes here in year 1, but I guess he is a nice depth piece on this team, if you will. The shooting guard spot, obviously Zach LaVine, not gonna lie to you, not a huge fan of his contract. I'm interested to see how Zach LaVine kind of comes back into the mix with the Chicago Bulls this year in real life, but here in 2K, he is probably not my favorite option at the 2-guard spot. Buddy Hield can be a nice shooter off the bench for us. He's actually a pretty decent 6th-man option, so I can definitely live with it. Got Sam Merrill here as well, of course, another guy who can shoot the ball. But at a 74 overall, probably will not play a ton. The small forward spot, I guess maybe one of the weaker positions we've looked at so far on this team. That's not a shot at Rui Hachimura. It's just the honest reality of the situation. And him at a 79 overall is certainly serviceable. You know, we obviously have pretty decent depth at other spots at 79 overall, but I definitely do not mind him starting here for at least year 1. And I'll be honest with you, Hamidou Diallo, Amir Coffey, certainly not my favorite options behind him. So we'll maybe look to upgrade that, especially because both those guys are expiring deals. Now the power forward spot, Kyle Kuzma, currently a member of the Washington Wizards in real life. I'm not sure if the Wizards are ever going to go ahead and pull the trigger on a trade with Kuzma, but it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. But here in 2K, in this reality now, we are going to go ahead and have him line up as our starting power forward here for at least 1 year. I don't mind Kuzma. He's obviously an NBA champion, but he is not a star or anything like that. Rocco and then Jordan Ora are my backup 4s at this time. Again, decent depth, nothing too special. In the center spot, I've said this in a bunch of videos, especially my Miami Heat rebuild. I think Bam Adebayo is one of the more underrated players in the league. In my opinion, he's the most versatile defensive player in all of basketball, and he is somebody that I truly do think does not get nearly enough credit. So I'm going to give you the credit here today, Bam. I love you, man. Even though you're on one of my Celtics' biggest rivals team, I definitely enjoy watching him play, and is obviously going to be that 5 for us the entirety of this video. Steven Adams, nice veteran option here at the backup center spot. So that is the team, and if you were wondering, because I know historically I am a dumbass in these videos, and I typically forget to turn off previously traded draft picks, but that is not the case today. I did remember, so every team has their own selections. We are going to go ahead and make a few trades before we kick off year 1. First trade of today's video is going to be a deal here with the Miami Heat. I'm not a huge Nikola Vucevic fan, but he is a multi-year contract. He's 2 overalls higher than Steven Adams, and ultimately it feels like a pretty much no-brainer without having to give up a single draft pick. So that is going to be our first trade. Vucevic obviously going to be the backup behind Bam Adebayo. Still a few more moves to come. I know on paper we are currently fine at our shooting guard spot, but I don't think it is going to be that big of a deal if we move Buddy Hield from the 2 to the 3, and obviously the Milwaukee Bucks, for whatever reason, are willing to offer me Isaiah Joe, 25 years old, 78 overall, and obviously locked up on a long-term deal. He is going to be a nice replacement at the backup 2-guard option, and I am very excited about this. So again, another deal where it feels like we're coming out the big winners of it, and I'll certainly take it. And finally, our last deal before we kick off year one is going to be a trade with the Houston Rockets. We are sending Robert Covington and 2 future second-round picks to Houston for Caleb Martin and a second-round pick in 2025. Now, Caleb Martin is only 1 overall higher, according to 2K, than Robert Covington is, but he also has multiple years guaranteed on his contract, and he's 4 years younger. Again, kind of a no-brainer. 2K is being very nice to me today so far. Let's set that rotation before we kick off year one. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a year one championship team. I've had a few fantasy drafts where my team has ended up being way better than I initially anticipated in year one. Maybe won a few championships. I don't know if that's quite where we're at, but considering, what we ended up having to work with, I feel like we're in a much better position than we were just 3 or 4 minutes ago. So I'm super happy about the possibilities with this team. I think we have a lot of flexibility moving forward, given the contracts we have, the status of this team, and I'm very excited about it. So here's how it's going to look for year one. It is Tyrese Maxey, Zach LaVine, Rui Hachimura, Kyle Kuzma, Bam Adebayo in that starting 5. Now, if I auto-set this, the game actually recommends I put Hield in the starting small forward spot over Hachimura. I'm actually going to value his shooting coming off the bench. I think he's going to be a really kind of key player with that second unit. So that's where he'll be. Obviously got Nikola Vucevic at the backup 5. We brought in Isaiah Joe. Dennis Schroeder will remain my backup point guard. And then finally, Caleb Martin at the backup 4. So just something to note, Dennis Schroeder is actually our only expiring contract heading into this season. That is something that I definitely wanted to kind of make sure was not a big lingering issue for us, having multiple guys expiring, entering unrestricted free agency. I think we did a pretty good job about that. So I'm excited for this team. I think the possibilities are endless. Maybe we don't have a quote-unquote bona fide superstar, depending on how you look at it, but I think this team fits well together. I think there's a lot of quality depth, and I think the possibilities are endless. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. Just when I thought I was done with Dallas MVPs in these rebuilds, no. They actually have Nikola Jokic now on their squad. I'm assuming they had probably a top 2-3 pick in the draft. We ended up going 51-31 here in this first season, and for a fantasy draft, that's actually pretty good for a year one. Now, Alex Sarri, Rookie of the Year, he is a member of the Portland Trailblazers. Manuel Quickly is a Boston Celtic. He's your 6th man. Victor Wembanyama, your Defensive Player of the Year. Still, Amen Thompson still winning Most Improved. SGA in a Lakers jersey, Clutch Player of the Year. You can run from it, hide from it. Destiny arrives, still the same. It is Jason Kidd at 72-10, still winning Coaches of the Year. Okay, let's go over the standings real quick. We actually are the 1 seed here in the East. 1,000% will take that. Tied with the Chicago Bulls. Here's a look at the West. Of course, Dallas won 72 games. I'm just curious, what is it they're working with here? Wow. That feels like a lot of, there's obviously only one superstar here, but there feels like a lot of, quality NBA players, considering they probably had, a top 2-3 pick, as we mentioned. So, good job, Dallas. Okay, let's go over the stats real quick. On the season, Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Kuzma, Zach LaVine, Bam Adebayo, Hachimura, Vucevic, Hield, Joe, Schroeder, and then Martin. Rebounds per game led by Bam, and assists actually also Bam Adebayo. All right. Let's get into it. Round 1, we are going to be taking on the Boston Celtics. Steph Curry is a Celtic. God, he already owns us, and now he's wearing our jersey. Bradley Beal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Precious Achiuwa, Vita Zubac. Got Miles Turner coming off the bench. Of course, Manuel Quickly just won 6th Man of the Year. Okay. That is certainly a pretty talented team there in Boston. We quickly go up 2-0 on them, though. They go Game 3. We win Game 4. And nope, not yet. Thank you. Now moving on to the East semis, taking on the Indiana Pacers with Trae Young, Luke Kennard, Azar Thompson, Kuminga, got Karl Anthony Towns here. Am I insane for saying that the Celtics scared me a little bit more? Maybe I am. I don't really know. So here goes nothing in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We are currently down 2-1. We do tie it up at 2s. We go up 3-2, and we close them out in 6 to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals here in year 1. You got Jamal Murray, Amen Thompson, Brooks, Kevin Durant, Robert Williams, Kelly Oubre. Okay, this is a pretty good team. There is no doubt about that. I think they obviously have the best player in the series, but we are hopefully going to get by them still. Up 3-1 and now going to Game 7. I can feel it in my loins. No, we still win, though. Okay, I'll take it. We've already gone over the Dallas team. I wasn't, necessarily expecting a finals appearance, even as a 1 seed. A little shocking, but I'm not really sure what to expect here in year 1. Wow, quick 2-0 lead for us. They win Game 3 on our home floor and Game 4. We win Game 5. They win Game 6, and we're going to a Game 7 here in year 1. Absolute insanity against a 72-win team. Going back and forth, looks like they might run away with it, though. Oh, boy. Damn. Heartbroken. Got so close, obviously up 3-2. Just about as close as you can get without actually winning it. And Nikola Jokic, he's your finals MVP. All right. Nobody likes losing in the finals in year one. There's no doubt about that. No way to spin it, but I will take it considering what we have to go. We have 2 years to go, 2 off seasons. We're in a good spot. Hall of Fame inductees, jersey retirements, draft lottery time. I know we traded for a few picks. I don't think any of them were this year, and obviously the majority of these teams are going to have their own selections anyways. All right, staff signing. Jody Fernandez. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know a lot about Jody Fernandez because that would just be insulting to all of you because I don't. I don't think many people do. But he did, I would say, a good enough job in year one to keep his job, right? I mean, we went to Game 7 of the finals. If we won it all, there would be no question that he's staying on. So just because his ratings aren't necessarily the best doesn't mean he should be fired. But there's also the other side of the coin. You could say, well, maybe if we had a little bit of a better head coach, maybe we win that series. We don't blow a 3-2 lead. But I'm going to be an optimist for now. We will hang on to him, and we will send him up to the draft. But I will be keeping a close eye on that head coaching spot. Okay, we have the 27th overall pick in round 1. Pick 5 in round 2 is actually not terrible. So maybe we can draft some nice depth pieces at both those spots. Alec Caravan sitting here? Sure. Why not? UConn product. Welcome to the team. All right, and then we'll go ahead and take a look here in round number 2. Dame Sarr? Is he related to Alex? Huh. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Welcome to the team. Out of Italy, 6'6", 190 pounds. Okay, 72 and 70 overall, respectively. No team player options for us. Of course, our only real major free agent, I say, would be Dennis Schroeder, correct? And it doesn't even appear that we have rights to re-sign him, but 2K is going to let me do so anyways. All right, welcome back to the team, Dennis Schroeder. Seth Curry was here. Chris Duarte, not going to bring either of those guys back. So I think we're at a point right now where I do want to make at least one upgrade. This trade here with the Indiana Pacers is going to land us Jonathan Kuminga and Isaiah Stewart. Now, to get those two guys, we do have to send out Rui Hachimura, Nikola Vucevic, and our unprotected first-round pick next year, but I think you guys will understand this a little bit more once I explain it. So, obviously, Kuminga and Stewart are both on multi-year deals. You guys know how important that is to me. I do not like risking letting guys walk for nothing, and ultimately, if we're going to upgrade one position in this starting 5, it's going to be my small forward spot. I'm just going to move Kuminga there. So, Hachimura and Vucevic were nice options, especially Vucevic as a backup center, but could just move Stewart there. It is not the end of the world, and Kuminga is a nice upgrade. So I'm excited about that. We may have one other move coming. Oh my God, we just landed ourselves Cade Cunningham without giving up a single draft pick. That is insane. We sent Zach LaVine, Game Vincent, Dame Sarr, who we obviously just drafted, and Jordan Nora, all to Houston, and we landed Cade Cunningham. So I was considering a move with Zach LaVine strictly because he was technically expiring. I mean, he had a player option for $46 million that he likely would have accepted, but it's also just a clear-cut upgrade in this backcourt. So I know Tyrese Maxey is shorter than Cade Cunningham, so maybe it makes a little bit of sense to play Cade at the 2 instead, but I feel like he's a little bit of a better playmaker. Right? I mean, I guess maybe that doesn't matter as much. Maxey doesn't move in the overall department. Cade goes up 1. All right, fuck it. We'll just play Cade at the 2-guard spot. I mean, size-wise, it does probably make more sense. So, Maxey and Schroeder, Cunningham and Joe, Kuminga, and then Hield is here. I'm a little worried about that regression, but we'll hang on to him one more year. I'm also going to keep Kuzma. Isaiah Stewart is now likely going to be my backup power forward. So maybe Caleb Martin's a little expendable now. Actually, you know what? I'll just continue to play Caleb Martin. I'll move Isaiah Stewart to the backup center spot. I think that was the original plan. That's fine with me. All right, I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Last year, I was optimistic. This season, I have big expectations. This is a team that obviously won 51 games last season, made it all the way to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, while adding 2 really nice upgrades in this starting 5. It is Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Jonathan Kuminga, Kyle Kuzma, and Bam Adebayo. For a year 2 of a fantasy draft, that is about as good as it's going to get. You got Buddy Hield still off the bench as our 6th man. Isaiah Joe remains. Isaiah Stewart, new addition. Dennis Schroeder, we re-signed. And Caleb Martin rounding out the 10-man. So, it's a good team. There's no doubt about that. There is quality depth. There's obviously a lot of really talented players. And now the only goal is to just go out, win a championship. See you guys at the end of the second season here in Brooklyn. Another MVP for Mr. Jokic, but who gives a shit? We go 62-20. I'm assuming that is good enough for the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, and hopefully we are in the driver's seat to not only get back to the finals, but win it this time. Cooper Flagg, member of the Utah Jazz, is your Rookie of the Year. Jaden Ivey, Phoenix Suns, still 6th man, not still, but now 6th man of the year. Wemby still wins DPOY. Jarris Walker, Most Improved. Trae Young, Clutch Player of the Year. And our guy, Mr. Jody Fernandez, is your Coach of the Year. So go out and show the world why we hung on to you as our head coach. We were 12 games up on the Chicago Bulls for the 1 seed here, and it was the best record in basketball. So, You know what? Maybe we're the favorites. We will find out. Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Kyle Kuzma, Bam Adebayo, Jonathan Kuminga, Hield, Joe, Stewart, Schroeder, and then Martin. Rebounds are game led by Bam, and assists is going to be Cade Cunningham at that 2-guard spot. Okay, round 1. Us and the Charlotte Hornets. You got LaMelo Ball still, funny enough. Malachi Branham, Jimmy Butler, Tari Eason. Okay, pretty good team. Wow, they have a lot of actual Hornets here. That's funny. Okay. Let's sim through round 1. Not, the easiest first round matchup, but I still think we're a better team. That being said, we are currently down 2-1, tied up 2-2, go down 3-2. Oh my God. Well, that is not great. That is not great. I feel like I need a little bit more out of Bam. Same with Kuminga. Man, that's just, wow. Not the way I was hoping it was going to go. Donovan Mitchell and the Warriors against Kevin Durant and the Bulls. Bulls win it all. KD, your finals MVP. Okay, well, you know what? We tried to be optimistic last season in terms of our head coach with Mr. Jody Fernandez. Obviously, that was a mistake, and I'll just let you know right now we will be moving on very shortly. Okay, the Sixers, Lakers, Heat, Raptors, and Jazz as your top 5. It is now officially time to move on from Jody, and we are going to take a look at one of these 3 guys. Stafford, Missoula, Kid, we're going to offer them all $12.63 million, and I don't really care which one I get as long as it is one of them. So hopefully we have at least a little bit of a more competent head coach. Oh, we can actually get any single one of them that we want. I'm actually going to get Jason Kidd. I signed Stafford quite a bit. I've gotten Missoula quite a bit in the past as well, but Missoula's ratings are actually lower than Kidd's. So you know what? Jason Kidd, welcome to Brooklyn, or I guess back to Brooklyn. Okay, let's head up to the NBA draft. We are working with the 30th overall pick in round 2. I really do not want it, so we will do a quick swap there. So not going to be drafting anybody this season, or off season, and we are going to be considering all possibilities with this team. I'm obviously not going to blow it up because we had a really good regular season, but I would be, an idiot if I didn't make at least one trade. We're going to work on a deal here with the Golden State Warriors and potentially land ourselves Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I know Porzingis is obviously listed as a center right now. I'm not sure if I'll play him at the 4 or Bam Adebayo at the 4. We obviously all remember watching the Olympics this past summer. Bam playing the 4 is certainly not the worst idea in the world. Now, Kyle Kuzma is fine, but if I had to pick somebody in this starting 5, it is between him and Jonathan Kuminga. And honestly, I think Kuminga is going to continue to develop and go up in the overall department. So this is what we're currently offering to make the money work. Of course, we do have some draft picks we can also play with because we cannot take them with us, as I say very often. Thank you very much, Golden State. Now, just curious, what happens to the overalls of Bam and KP if they move to the power forward spot? Bam doesn't really move. Porzingis actually goes down 1. Bam Adebayo is going to take over at the starting 4 for us. Okay, I'm excited about that. I do think there is one other move I want to make. I think I'm going to be not so optimistic this offseason. I think I'm going to kind of go ahead and move on from guys I think I'm relatively confident that will regress. So let's just see. What are we do need to find ourselves a new backup power forward as well. So maybe a guy like Precious Achua. Ooh, Nickeil Alexander-Walker actually goes up a bunch if you move him to small forward, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he actually jumps like, yeah. Oh, it's only 1. Okay, well, I'm an idiot. But welcome to the team, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Excited to have you here. I'm going to be fine at the shooting guard spot. Schroeder's 32, so that scares me a little bit. But he's only playing 10, 12 minutes a night, so not really the end of the world. Let's look at my power forward options here. They're not great. Darius Bazley might end up being my best option. So I would say our bench is maybe in a little bit of a, skeptical, not skeptical, but maybe a little bit of a tricky situation. But the starting 5 is as good as it's ever been. So I'll see you guys with the rotation at the start of year 3. In terms of expectations, last season's end result was about as disappointing as it gets. We won the Eastern Conference. Hell, we won the league in terms of the regular season. And then we got bounced in round 1 by an 8 seed. That cannot happen. This offseason made some pretty drastic moves. Of course, adding Kristaps Porzingis into the mix as our new starting center. Obviously brought in Jason Kidd as the new head coach. And again, I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be upbeat with this team, but I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous. And that's kind of crazy to say considering the start we had with this group. So it is now, it is never. It is Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Jonathan Kuminga, Bam Adebayo, obviously now shifting to the 4, and Kristaps Porzingis is going to be my new starting center. Bench unit will still be, actually no, Isaiah Joe, first year as a 6-man, excuse me. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Isaiah Stewart, Dennis Schroeder, and Darius Bazley rounding out the 10-man rotation. So, yep, this is it. It is championship time, and hopefully we can make all of our dreams come true. I'll see you guys at the end of the final regular season. 69-13. Nice. That's the record here as we wrap up the 3rd season. It's another 60-win year, but we are obviously looking for a championship. Luka wins an MVP for the first time. Actually, yeah, right? Jokic won 2 straight. I think. AJ DeBanson, Rookie of the Year. Jaden Ivey, once again, your 6th man. Victor Wembanyama, once again, your depoy. Wasn't Ivey with the Suns last year, though? Nolan Traore, Most Improved. Giannis, not now, but is a member of the Orlando Magic in this video, your Clutch Player of the Year. And Jason Kidd, our first-year head coach, winning Coach of the Year. Well, we won a Coach of the Year last year. It did not end very well in the playoffs. Hopefully, we are singing a different tune this time around. Okay, numbers are great. Feel free to pause if you'd like at this point of the video. I am wanting to do nothing but winning championships, though. So round 1, as the 1 seed, Toronto Raptors. Not my favorite. This is a pretty good team. Damian Lillard's down to an 82, and he's coming off the bench. That is insane. Okay, God bless 2K and their regression. Quick 2-0 lead for us here in round 1. 3-0 lead for us here in round 1. It is a sweep in round 1. Now, the Philadelphia 76ers. Boogie Fland, that's a cool name. Tyler Hero, AJ DeBanza, Laravia, Anthony Davis here, Walker Kessler, Bobby. That's a lot of big men off the bench. Okay, not walk. Maybe it is a walk in the park. Yet to lose a playoff game as we approach the Eastern Conference Finals. The Indiana Pacers. We have faced this team before. I think we beat them in year 1, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that we can probably do that again with a more improved team. And wow. It is a very, very different story this time around. Now, I always like avoiding Luka in the playoffs just because he's obviously incredible, but 2K definitely has a big obsession with him. And, yeah, I mean, they're good. Markkanen and Doncic is a fun duo. Drake Powell, Omax, and Edey, and the rest of that starting 5. You got Freddie and Zaire Williams coming off the bench. I think we're a better team. I don't know that for a fact. They obviously have the best player in the series. And did we just go 16-0 in the playoffs? I get bounced in round 1 last year, but this time around, you know what? I don't question when I win championships, or I do, but I should stop doing it because it doesn't happen every video, and especially at 16-0 in the playoffs. Well, maybe I should rename this video the Perfect Playoff Challenge or something like that. I don't know, lie to all of you good people. No, this one was fun. Obviously got a little stressful near the end, but we put together a really good team, and honestly, we started with a pretty good team as well. So it's not the craziest and most challenging rebuild in the world. I understand that, but as we slowly get back into these rebuild challenges, we will get more and more difficult as they go on. So I know you guys have been looking for some of these, and I'm happy to get back into them, and very excited for basketball to be back. I'll just say that. So that does it for me. Let me know any of the rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.